Hello everyone, you are watching the channel Incredible Facts. The U.S. military has a wide range of missiles, including the Tomahawk cruise missile for precision strikes, the AIM-9 Sidewinder for air-to-air combat, and the Minuteman III ICBM for nuclear deterrence. These missiles serve diverse roles, from tactical to strategic, in defense and power projection. Today, we want to show you the 10 best missiles in the U.S. Army. AGM114 LRASM. The LRASM, which stands for Long Range Anti-Ship Missile, was developed by Lockheed Martin. It is a new generation anti-ship cruise missile based on the AGM-158B JASM air-launched cruise missile. It was designed to meet the needs of the U.S. Navy and Air Force. The LRASM is armed with a 992-pound or 450-kilogram blast fragmentation warhead. This missile employs precision routing and guidance. It can be used in all weather conditions, day or night. The missile employs an advanced sensor suite, data link, and enhanced global positioning system, resistant to jamming. The LRASM can destroy specific targets within a group of numerous ships at sea. Developers state that its range is greater than 230 miles or 370 kilometers. This stealthy anti-ship missile has been designated to have reduced radar cross-section and IR signature, so it is hard to detect and intercept. Its stealthiness makes it easier to overcome advanced air defense systems. The LRASM can detect the enemy's electronic emissions and attack hostile warships in the best possible way. Harpoon. The Harpoon anti-ship missile is probably the most common weapon of its type in the West. Since it entered production with McDonnell Douglas in 1975, over 7,000 have been produced, equipping hundreds of ships around the world at the relatively cheap price of around $1.5 million. This weapon system is versatile, capable of also being launched from aircraft, trucks, and submarines. A little-known fact about this missile is that it was originally developed as a weapon against submarines. With its sea-skimming capability, it was originally intended to destroy diesel boats recharging their batteries on the surface. The very project name was the reference to that mission, as submarines are commonly nicknamed whales in the Navy, and harpoon is used as a verb to describe the act of sinking one. The Harpoon is a subsonic, high-explosive, over-the-horizon sea-skimming anti-ship missile. It tracks its quarry using active radar and detonates on contact. This missile is fitted with a heavy 487-pound or 221-kilogram penetration blast warhead and has a cruising speed of about 383 miles per hour or 617 kilometers per hour. BMG109 Tomahawk. The BMG109 Tomahawk is without a doubt the best-known and most combat-tested cruise missile in the West. It carries a heavy payload over a very long distance and can be launched from a multitude of different platforms. The Tomahawk is a long-range, unmanned weapon with an accuracy of about 16 feet or 5 meters. The 18.4-foot or 5.6-meter-long missile has a range of up to approximately 1,500 miles or 2,400 kilometers and can travel as fast as 550 miles or 885 kilometers per hour. Tomahawks are launched vertically from ships, but they can be launched horizontally from torpedo tubes on attack submarines or from external launchers attached to a submarine's hull. The missile can elude detection by radar because it has a small cross-section and operates at low altitudes. The warheads used in the Tomahawk are even more diverse. The original BMG109A and the BMG109G were armed with nuclear warheads, but these are no longer in service. In current models, there is a generic high-explosive frag warhead, but the early models of the BMG109C were armed with what is known as a bullpup warhead. AGM-158 JASM. In the early 1990s, the U.S. Air Force was looking for a new high-precision cruise missile that could penetrate the air defenses of advanced Russian air defense systems, such as the S-300 and its improved derivatives. This new weapon was planned to be carried by U.S. long-range strategic bombers, such as the B-1 Lancer and the new B-2 Spirit. Lockheed Martin began development of the new air-launched cruise missile in 1995. In 1998, the AGM-158 design was selected by the U.S. Air Force. Lockheed Martin received a development contract and continued development of the Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missile. The AGM-158 JASM is a high-precision, stealthy cruise missile. The main role of this missile is to strike a wide range of valuable targets without entering hostile air defense zones. This missile has a range of around 230 miles or 370 kilometers. It can be launched at standoff ranges, out of reach for hostile air defense systems. The JASM missile carries a conventional 992-pound or 450-kilogram high-explosive fragmentation warhead. This missile is extremely accurate. The U.S. Air Force reports that the AGM-158 has a CEP of just 9 feet or 3 meters. MGM-140 ATACMS. The ATACMS, or Army Tactical Missile System, is a U.S. short-range ballistic missile system and is the only weapon of this type still operational in the U.S. military. It is also designated M39 by the U.S. Army, and its DoD designation is MGM-140. While the ATACMS does assume a ballistic arc to its target, it also performs a series of rapid and sudden turns and course corrections on the way to its aim point. This is a deliberate function of the ATACMS, as this seemingly erratic flight behavior makes it exceptionally difficult to track or intercept. There is no dedicated launch platform for the ATACMS. It is instead launched from either the M270 MLRS or the M142 HIMARS, from which the more familiar 6L 227mm rocket launcher is replaced with a single launcher tube for the missile. The 3 different types of warheads are used on the operational models of the ATACMS. The MGM-140A contains 950 M74 APAM, or anti-personnel anti-material submunitions, which are scattered in mid-air during the final stretch of the missile's terminal phase. The MGM-140B disperses the same M74 submunitions, but carries roughly 1/4 as many. The MGM-168A carries a large unitary warhead designed to greatly increase damage to point targets, while minimizing collateral damage. The shortest range model is the original MGM-140A, with an effective range of 80 miles, or 128 kilometers. The reduction of the warhead's weight in the MGM-140B has resulted in an improved range of 103 miles, or 165 kilometers. While the newer MGM-168A has a range of 186 miles, or 300 kilometers. Trident II. The Trident D5, or Trident II, is a submarine-launched ballistic missile. It is an improved version of the previous Trident C4 with greater payload, range, and accuracy. It was first deployed in 1990. These intercontinental ballistic missiles are used by the United States and the United Kingdom. The U.S. Trident II missiles are carried by 14 Ohio-class submarines. The Trident II is a 3-stage solid propellant missile. It has a range of 4,847 miles or 7,800 kilometers with full load and 7,456 miles or 12,000 kilometers with a reduced load. So even though the Trident II does not have the longest range comparing with other intercontinental ballistic missiles, submarines armed with these missiles can always approach their targets in order to reduce their flight range. The Trident II has a throw weight of 6,172 pounds, or 2,800 kilograms. Each U.S. Trident II missile carries up to 14 warheads, with a 475 kiloton yield each. Each warhead weighs 385 pounds, or 175 kilograms. A single Trident II missile can hit different targets located around 310 miles or 500 kilometers apart. LGM-30G Minuteman III. The LGM-30G Minuteman III is an intercontinental ballistic missile. It is the third member of the Minuteman ballistic missile series. It entered development in 1966 as a further development of the early LGM-30F Minuteman II and entered service for the first time in 1970. The Minuteman III is the product of over 40 years of continual innovation and improvement. There are 450 Minuteman missiles in service with the United States Air Force Global Strike Command and about 50 to 75 in reserve. That's the biggest number of ballistic missiles in the world. It is expected to stay in service until 2030. The Minuteman III missile has a maximum range of 8,077 miles, or 13,000 kilometers. The original inertial navigation system provided it with an accuracy of about 656 feet, or 200 meters CEP. But an updated inertial guidance system gives it 394 feet, or 120 meters CEP. This missile has 3 stages, and it uses solid fuel, and carries a payload of 3 independently targetable re-entry vehicles. Each of these RVs is armed with a W-78 or W-87 nuclear warhead with a destructive power between 300 and 500 kilotons. It also carries penetration aids to counter enemy missile defense systems. The AIM-120 AMRAAM. The AIM-120 AMRAAM, or Advanced Medium Range Air-to-Air Missile, is one of the most modern, powerful, and widely used air-to-air missiles in the entire world. After it entered limited service in 1991, this missile has been exported to about 35 countries around the world, where it has certainly been proven with over 3,900 test shots and 10 combat victories. The AMRAAM is fitted with a large and powerful 50-pound or 22.7 kilogram high-explosive blast fragmentation warhead. Although smaller than that of the AIM-7 Sparrow, it is still quite effective, as it is easily able to destroy or critically damage almost all fighter aircraft and even the large transport planes. The AIM-120 possesses high maneuverability and speed for a medium-range air-to-air missile due to its powerful engine and light weight. Its WPU-6B rocket motor can propel the AMRAAM to the startling speed of 3,045 miles per hour, or 4,900 kilometers per hour, which is capable of easily overtaking even the fastest enemy aircraft. This missile combines its incredible speed and maneuverability with long range of up to 46 miles or 75 kilometers on the basic version. AIM-9X Sidewinder. The AIM-9X is another development of the venerable AIM-9 Sidewinder. The U.S. Air Force and U.S. Navy launched a joint program to develop a next-generation missile for short-range air combat that would replace the AIM-9M. All capabilities of the AIM-9X, including speed, maneuverability, and resistance to countermeasures, have been increased over the previous Sidewinder missiles. The AIM-9X was designed as a super maneuverable weapon for short-range air combat. It is one of the most advanced weapons in its class. Eventually, this missile was integrated with all fighter aircraft used by the U.S. military, including the F-15, F-16, F-A-18, F-22, and F-35. The AIM-9X has a heat-seeking warhead with an infrared imager. After launch, the seeker follows the heat signature from the engine of the hostile aircraft and guides the missile onto it. Such guidance method is resistant to jamming. The missile is compatible with helmet-mounted displays, so the pilot can point the missile seeker and lock onto its target by simply looking at the target. This missile uses a blast fragmentation warhead. AGM-114 Hellfire. The US-made AGM-114 Hellfire anti-tank guided missile is one of the most common and important heliborne weapons of the Western Bloc. Designed to serve as an equalizer against superior numbers of the Warsaw Pact tanks at the height of the Cold War, this missile continues to find a place in new missions and battles that were largely discounted in its infancy. All variants to date, with the exception of the AGM-114L, employ semi-active laser guidance. The missile homes in on a laser spot produced by a laser designator. The aircraft employing the Hellfire usually has their own laser designator, but the target can be lased by another aircraft, a fighting vehicle, personnel with a man-portable designator, and so on. As such, the aircraft launching the missile needs only to point it in the right direction and launch it. With the exception of the AGM-114M and AGM-114N, all warshot versions of the Hellfire have shape-charged warheads. Exactly how much armor these warheads penetrate has never officially been disclosed, but is noted to be less than that of the ITO missiles. Well, that's all, friends. Thanks for watching. Write in the comments which missile you like the most. Also, click the like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new interesting videos.